Okay, so this is a public service message, if you will, for anyone who wants to come into Ghana, either overland or if you're flying in. The visa process is a bear. This little clip is meant to reduce any hassle you might have and mitigate any stress as far as possible. So, the short version is, the Ghanaian visa application process is online. You don't have to go to the embassy. Everything needs to be done online before you go to the embassy. You access, if you type in Ghana visa and the city that you're in, where the embassy is that you intend to go to pick up to submit the application, that is correct. So, for example, in my current place, it was Ghana visa Abidjan. It then comes up with the Ghanaian embassy in the city you're in. You then enter the website. You click on visa application. It takes you to a portal. The portal is generic across the board. You have to create an account with your email and a password of your choice. You then go in through the portal to the visa application process. The visa application is comprehensive. What you need is, if you have everything to hand, obviously your own details, name, passport, and number, and all the rest. You pick an appointment day, so ideally the closest one to today for you. So in my case, I applied over the weekend and I made Monday afternoon, which is the earliest time I could do, as my appointment to submit the application. You need to have your accommodation for all of your time in Ghana. You need to have the confirmation emails to submit. I'll come back to that in a bit. You type in the accommodation, the name of the place, and as I said earlier, GPS coordinates. So if you've booked your accommodation, email them or message them on booking.com or whatever and ask them for the GPS coordinates of their hostel. So you get name of the hostel, address, GPS coordinates. If you're staying 2 weeks like me, I entered 2. That's that. Then it asks you for a host. The host is usually with one of the hotels. The host requires the name of the hotel owner and his personal email and personal phone number. So that's 3 sections right there. Oh. Trauma. Then you go through, then you carry on going. So far you've done your personal details. It has country of residence on the first section. It doesn't mean your country of residence, it means the country that you're currently resident in. So it needs your address and for where you're staying in this country or your country. So if it's a home, you fill in a home. If you're on the road like me, you fill in the place you're staying here. It then asks for uploads of photographs, essentially. So passport photo, recent passport photo, data page of your passport, yellow fever certificate. That one is very important because this is the first country I've come across where it's mandatory. Your yellow fever certificate, your hotel confirmation times 2, your host times 1. In my case, that was the second hotel, the guy who runs it. Your itinerary, your signature, all of these need to be added in the correct format, so less than 1 megabyte per upload. I used, because my wonderful friend Brooke, who's been kind enough to format these things on her BAT computer in the past, was not available. I did use a free app to compress the photos to less than 1 megabyte. You add those in, it ticks, and you can save and move on. Once then you do a declaration and all the rest, double check everything. Rule number 5. Double check everything before you submit it, because if you make a mistake, you'll do the whole thing again. Then, for some obscure reason, it goes from digital to analog. You then have to print out the whole kit and caboodle, and you can't email yourself the link. You can't send yourself the links by WhatsApp. You have to go to a printing place, use their computer to access the portal and print from there. The good news is I was able to use that same process to make myself more passport photos, and my Benin and Togo e-visas, I've got them in my bag. So then you physically go to the embassy at your appointed time. You're given an appointment with a barcode that's completely unnecessary, and you go to the embassy yourself with everything in hand. That is all the printouts, including printouts of the yellow visa certificate, your hotel confirmations, your signature, your itinerary. Mine was handwritten itinerary, and the application forms, and the fee, and 2 passport photos, physical passport photos. And then you give them that, and then you go back and pick up your passport at the appointed time. That's the process. I sincerely hope if I've helped even one person make this less of a nightmare than it was for me, job done. I'm looking forward to whiskey. Cheers. Oh, incidentally, I've been a little too stressed out the last few days to register this with anyone but Bethany, but one of my videos has hit 5,400 views, which is fucking epic, dude. And I've hit 460 subscribers when I had 300 at the start of May, which is edifying, which makes me feel good. Long may it increase. Thank you. Wow. I think it's moved off now just a little bit, but we're still really in it. Oh, amazing. Power's still out for us anyway, but hell, there's nothing like a thunderstorm, a lightning storm to clear the air and put a smile back on my face. Yeah. Honestly, you guys, this is amazing. I thought the storm in Monrovia was a grandmother of a storm, and I wasn't wrong. But we keep on putting the power back on, but it'll trip out again in a few seconds. But this is a great grandmother of a storm. This is serious shit, man. There you go. So cool. And honestly, like I say, just what I needed. Stressful few days. Oh, I love this shit, man. Fun times. Good afternoon, friends. Cheers. So, I'm having a celebratory beer. First visited the Ghanaian embassy for the last time, thank God. I was honestly half expecting something to go wrong, but it was just a pickup. And the silver lining, of course, is that it is a full-page sticker. Because with e-visas you get the printouts, that is the authorization, and they check it at the border and then they just stamp you in, so you just get the stamps. And if you're a visa person like myself, collecting visas is half the fun. And this one, it is a little restrained, but it is still very nice. Yeah, it's pretty good. So that's nice. It is Wednesday afternoon. I finished work for the day. I have quite a full day tomorrow, and then Friday is my travel day. I made a few contacts, and it should be, because one of them said that the bus doesn't go, it only goes on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I'm not sure if that's true or not, but there has to be a way to travel on a Friday. I'm going to take the bus to Takoradi, which is a very Japanese sounding kind of name. And then changing and then going up to Kumasi from there. Yes, and I think I mentioned before, in taking a break from banging my head against the Ghanaian visa application process, I did manage to completely sort out, pay for, and be sent the e-visas for Benin and Togo as well. So, Togo and Benin, I suppose, as well. So that is the next 3 countries now sorted out. I'm going to get a head start on the Nigeria visa, because apparently it's pretty much as bad as the Ghanaian one. I think it's essentially kind of like a semi-punishment, because Ghana and Nigeria are Anglophone and they're particularly close to Britain, as it were. And apparently because of the immigration situation, the visa application process for Ghanaians and Nigerians to enter Britain is really very stringent. So it's vengeance for that. But with this much, because I'm not entering Nigeria until the 4th of July. It's currently the 4th of June, so I've got a month, but I'm going to get a head start on that. That's been a nightmare though. I am not really given to massive amounts of frustration or stress, because I'm very used to doing this. But that was special. That was, I couldn't believe my eyes sometimes. And so yeah, it was frustrating. Anyway, your health. Oh, sidebar. I'm going to be spending, when I get back, if I finish this trip, I've got to caveat this sometimes. When I get back, I'm going to be in Britain for about 6 weeks, which is good, because I'm going to need to apply for a new passport, because this one is going to be rammed. I've gone through quite a few. Yeah. Anyway. Really quite impressive horns on that goat, actually.